Hi there, I'm Greg Ong, and I was not really a part of my culture. Never really got to experience much of my culture, and my heritage wasn't really passed down from my family. I knew of, and I knew what I was. I am Chinese. My dad was born in Hong Kong, and now he was raised in New York when he was 3 up until now. My mom is German, Irish, and Scottish. That never really affected her as she grew up. It was kind of just being put in a Midwest American home. I was born in New York, and I was raised in New York. That was probably the biggest culture I've had, just being a New Yorker. It's its own sense of person. You've heard the stories of how we're rude, loud, rushing everywhere. They're not that false. But I never really got to know much about my heritage and culture until about 11 when I took on Irish dancing. And that wasn't really taught through my parents. That was taught through my teacher and the history lessons that we would try to teach at shows just to pass on the culture to everyone else. Now, one's race in comparison to their culture and how they grew up, how it's related, is more affected of how they grew up and where they grew up. Like I said, for me, my race never really affected how I grew up. I got to experience life through soccer, through tennis, normal sports that you would see just by crossing down any town around you. That's what I got to experience, and a lot of it's different for religious cultures. They learn their values through going to school, through what is taught through scriptures. For other cultures, it's being presented with how they were taught and what they were taught around them. It's even through family values. Now, what impact does art have on a culture? Art makes something its own culture. That is what I got to learn through Irish dancing. Because Irish dancing became its own culture. It encompassed everything around it. Religion, stories, family values, togetherness, mingling, talking to the community. If you look at the dresses, the old dresses from the time when river dance became a thing, a lot of it is from the Book of Kells. Designs of it, trying to teach different stories of what the scriptures were about. A lot of team dances were basically meeting people after church or meeting people at a social gathering. Even the dance idea of it, where they keep their arms to their side, was because of slavery and how there was a ban on having fun. Basically, dancing is what they would do, but they couldn't show it too well, so they had to use the lower half of their body. Now, I would like to discuss cultural relativism, which is the idea of one's social circle and social environment affecting how they look at the world and how they look at the things around them. If you look at basically Islamic faith and how women normally wear hijabs and more conservative clothing, they don't show much of their body. A lot of Americans do. I end up wearing shorts and tank top. There are a lot of more liberal clothing that are being presented down runways. There are fashion shows about lingerie and all of that. Which, putting culture to culture, comparing them, is not really a widespread of one culture, but it's showing the diversity that is affected by how people grew up and how they were raised, how they were taught their values, and why they were taught their values, who they are. It's a part of who they are. Thank you.